Hey, you made it back. I'm proud of you, King. I'm proud of you, Queen. Welcome back. I'm so excited that you decided that today was a day that you were going to find another way to get to the next. I know there's some challenges in this world. I know there's times when you don't even realize that things are not going to always go your way, and it may seem like it's piling on. But guess what? You made it another day. Now, I know that tomorrow may be a little different, and that's fine. The day after that may be more different than the day before that. But here's what you can do. If it gets to be too much, if it gets to be so much that you're starting to get back into that place, you can make a decision that you can live with by dialing 3 simple numbers, 988. Doesn't take much, doesn't require a whole lot, just a simple 988. So before you make a decision that we have to live with, make one that you can live with and go get some help. Now let's talk football. Pride Nation, what up, though? Here we are on another Victory Monday. All right. Wait, hold on. I'm getting a message from my people in the back. Say what? We didn't win? Are you sure? You sure? Okay. All right. Breaking news, people. Lions did not win their season opener against the Packers. And hold on. What did you say? Say what? Okay. And it's going to be okay. Yes, you're going to get a little bit of Patty Luke today. Yes, you're going to get that, but you mostly are going to get the therapist Luke today. Because today's show is going to be about you people. It's going to be about your emotions and your feelings. It's going to be the opportunity for you to jump in and talk to me and tell me how you feel. I'll give you my observations, okay? And tell you what I saw and what I believe happened. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a little bit of a different show than y'all are used to. And it's for one reason only. It's because I'm not in the mode of saying, I told you so. Or I'm not in the mode of saying like, hey, this, if only somebody said this. I'm in the mode of trying to get what you have and put it in perspective. Okay? Like where did we do it? So here's the rules. Come in, vent, let it all out. Say what you gotta say. Okay? But when you're done with it, I want solutions. Don't just come in, go in and overreact or underreact or just react. I want solutions. Okay? I want real-time solutions. And the reason for that is because there's a fix to everything. Everything has a fix. All right? Now, let me be clear. All right? This right here is going to evolve around y'all having to roll back some of the delusions. And I can't do that if you're not willing to roll back some of the delusions. All right? So toss out what you think you know and have an open ear. Let's see who's in the building with me real quick so I can shout out who's in the building because I like to make sure y'all get y'all flowers. We got my man Barbarian Lion in the building with us today. What up, though? Oh no, let me do this. Let me change this. All right, there we go. All right, we got Barbarian Lions in the building with us. We got Giovanni Lion in the building with us. One Funky Lions fan is in the building with us. We got Dr. Detroit. We got my man Shade 216. Makai Hope is in the building. We got Steven Farmer in the building with us. What up, though? We got my man Craig Ferguson in the building. What up, though? Cap Ice Cold is in the building. Willie Ross is in the building with us. We also got my man Adam Whitehead is in the building with us as well. Make sure I get everybody. I don't want to miss nobody. I think it's important to try to do this as much as possible and hit on as many people as possible, especially those who've been supporting me on the day one. So bear with me as I work my way down this list. Why is my computer acting like it wants to delay a little bit? This is why I got to keep these kids up off my stuff. All right. We got and if you in here, make sure you put something in so I can talk to you. We got Detroit D in the building. They took our cookies yesterday. We got Looney Tunes. We got Looney Tunes in the building with us. We got Corey Patterson in the building with us. It says you can't. There's a realist and there's Slappy, plain and simple. Hey, we gonna find out. We got D-Map Zoom in the building with us. We got Mitchell. I miss nobody. We got my man Steven Westbrook in the building with us. You can hate me now. Mackenzie's in the building with us. We got my man Juan W in the building. All right, let me give you my little observation, right? Because I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I am gonna put some disclaimers out there. All right. Here's the disclaimers. I don't want to hear anything about coordinators. I can dispel that so easily. This is not a coordinator issue. This is a execution issue. I don't want to hear anything about we didn't practice or we should have played our starters in the preseason. A lot of teams didn't play their starters in the preseason. Some teams won week one, some teams lost. Okay? It's the nature of the game. I don't want to hear any talks about what's the guy name? Jesus Christ. Oh, Brad Holmes. I can't talk about Brad Holmes. So I don't want to hear you talk about Brad Holmes because all I've been told is we can't talk about him. And he's perfect. And nobody's better than him. Not God, not Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the Father, or the Son. None of them are better than him. Right? And you can't be critical of a guy who did great. So all of those things, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to hear it. All right. Shout out to Eastwood 29. He says not worth 50 a year. Junior Jetta is in there. What up, though? Now, here's what I am going to do. Once I tell you what I saw in the game, the good, the bad, and the ugly, then I'm going to let you come on and talk your shit. Come on and talk it. Come in and have what you need to say. Get it off your chest. This is a therapeutic area for you to express yourselves. All right? Here's what I saw yesterday. I saw the same problems I've been complaining about from day one, which is Aiden Hutchinson by himself is not enough. And I also saw a D-line that looked pedestrian without Aleem McNeil. I will go down on history and say this, and this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but our best defensive lineman is Aleem McNeil because of what he can do and disrupt in the middle of the field. Okay? Now, I saw a team that executed poorly in the trenches. Again, I don't want to hear no excuses about we losing coordinators because I remember when I was in high school, I had a teacher, and if we were late to the class, in order for us not to get in trouble, we had to recite this poem which says excuses are tools of the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness. Those who use them seldomly amount to anything. So for this reason, we are in the accountability pool. I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to talk about the excuses. I don't need to discuss the excuses because what I can tell you is this. There are no excuses to be had with poor execution. Okay? I know there's going to be a lot of talk about the dink and dunk, but the Lions did what I thought they needed to do to win the game. They just executed poorly. I thought you needed to get the ball in the hands of Jahmyr Gibbs a lot and often, get him going against their linebackers, get him going in the run game. What I did not expect was for the blocking to be so piss poor. I didn't expect for the quarterback to not have a comfortable pocket. But I knew that if you can put pressure on Jared Goff, cool. And this right here is one of those games where I think that this is a humbling moment for not only the Lions, right, but a humbling moment for the fans, because I cannot believe the level of coping that we did when we heard that Parsons was going to the Packers. And we heard everything from he's overrated, he's not enough, oh, their secondary this, their run defense is that. Like, y'all don't realize this. Jahmyr Gibbs had his lowest rushing total in his career at 2.7 yards a carry. I heard that Wyatt wasn't going to be a factor, and he was very much so one. They even moved Parsons to the inside, and I was ticked off that it took two linemen who are maulers to block him. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then Vaness comes in to make the play because they have a rotation of guys to do it. I saw some things that make you want to know more about the things, but I don't blame the coordinators because we've done that. I've heard the stories in my Discord about, oh, why are we dropping our DNs in the coverage? We've been doing that. In fact, that's something we've been doing from the get-go. Why are we playing so much man coverage? We've been doing that. Nothing has changed in that regard. We've been doing those things. All of those things that people are pointing out was being done when Aaron Glenn was here. And I kept trying to tell people that Aaron Glenn was able to get a lot of people. I don't believe that at the one game we can argue that we miss him, but I do believe that at some point we have to be able to call a spade and say, are the guys that we have out there executing? There was a number of miscues that the Lions had that they shouldn't have had, and it was simply because of the Lions. Like, I love Brian Branch, but I don't understand the need to rip a helmet off and throw it. You could have did your thing, handed him the helmet, like smacked him on the butt. Good job. All right, let's go. But your penalty now gives them new life. Then you get an interception, which went for a touchdown. And let's be clear, the reason he got the touchdown is because the Packers already figured out that the penalty was against us. So their pursuit changed. But fine. I thought that was a weak call, but nonetheless, it happened. He held them. It is what it is. You know, Rocky said did not have to grab him again. But that ain't the only stupid thing that I saw. I saw a number of stupid penalties that should have never happened. And that was what was most confusing for me, was the lack of discipline. That's what was bothering me. And I'm trying to figure out, if we're going to play discipline, why should we win? I mean, undisciplined, why should we win? If you're going to play undisciplined, you should not win. It goes further than football. It goes for life too. If you're not disciplined in life, you're not going to win. Now, the scary part is this. Okay? Don't know, like, Parsons put Penei Sewell on skates. Penei Sewell had never had to deal with so much ever. And he did. And they came out with a message because they heard, oh, he's not going to do too much against Sewell. You know what the Packers said? Hold my beer. They exclusively lined him up over Sewell on purpose to get him to get the message. And then they sent everybody else. But I don't think it's a coordinator issue. If I blitz 6 people and nobody get home, nobody gets home. I'm sending 6 people for 5 blockers. Nobody gets home. Like, how? Like, there's no way I run up the middle. You telling me the most I can get is a 2-yard push? And I know people are going to say, oh, we're dinking and dunking. We're dinking and dunking. Did you see how fast they was getting to the quarterback? Now, I'm giving you all these little quick snippets because I am going to make the show about you. But I do have to point out some things because there's some stuff that I just don't get. Like, for example, this. Okay? Can we explore this for a second, people? All right. This thing says, and this is why I don't want to hear it. It says Lions pass rush lacking. According to PFF, the Packers were the third best pass blocking team in the NFL last season, and they held their own against the Lions on Sunday. As the Lions struggled to get pressure on Packers quarterback Jordan Love, PFF also credited the Lions with 9 pressures. Let me just stop there. What fucking game were they watching? Seriously, somebody tell me, what game were they watching? Who saw 9 pressures? If you saw 9 pressures, please put an emoji in the chat. What 9 pressures did y'all see? I've never seen a quarterback look more comfortable. He had a fat man's relaxing chair that vibrate and massage his feet while patting his face. What 9 pressures did they see? Like, are we doing this? We really doing this? I'll continue to read because this 9 pressure talk is crazy to me, right? I'm like, man, like maybe they even watching a different game. It goes on to read. Edge Aiden Hutchinson was quiet in his return from injury last season, finishing with just 3. What 3 pressures did Aiden Hutchinson have? When? I know. Listen to me, people. I don't even got to show you this. Go and look at the box score, and you tell me how many tackles did Aiden Hutchinson have. Here's a news flash. You ain't gonna see nothing there. And it's not a mistake. It's not a typo. It's 0. 0. He had 1 quarterback hit that he got with another player. And guess what? They don't give you a half a quarterback hit. So they just gave them each a quarterback hit. So technically, you will see on his stat sheet a quarterback hit. And you will see on the stat sheet as a team that there were 2 quarterback hits. 1 for him, 1 for Muhammad. But when you watch that game, I cannot remember but 1 play that the quarterback really got hit. Maybe I'm the weirdo. Now, if you think that's something, okay? All right? If you think that's something, look at what look at what Pro Football Focus came up and did. Pro Football Focus comes back and says Parsons only had 2 pressures. Now I know I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you're not going to tell me that Aiden Hutchinson had more pressures than Michael Parsons. You're not going to tell me that. I watched the game. One of the pressures led to an interception by Jared Goff, and he had a multitude of pressures that disrupted our plays. Not only in the run, and it's the crazy part is this, they didn't even unleash him. They was only bringing him in on 3rd downs early on, and once the score got out of hand, they brought him in. We ran the ball. He blew that up too. Okay? How do y'all now see why I don't rock with this pressure stuff? Because you only got to get near the quarterback. They don't care if the play was negative or positive. It's the most useless stat I've ever seen. It's the most useless one. But he got 9. I digress. I digress. Another thing I wanted to put out, right? And I agree with him. Ellis Anzalone, those questioning coordinators are not high intelligence. And I know he's frustrated. He don't mean to be rude about it, but it's one game, and I'm really telling you, it was just poor execution. Yes, there were things in the game that I did question personnel-wise, but I can put that at the feet of the head coach. Like, why are we not playing Tesla until like 58 seconds in the game? Why is Khalifa Raymond not the return guy on kick return? Why we keep trying this Grant Stewart sailor's trick? You're not fooling nobody. Okay? Why are we doing this? I can ask those questions, but those are decisions that come up from the head coach, and he trusts his coordinator to do their job, so I get that, but at some point you got to be like, let's switch it. Because he and Brad Holmes said we're good. They're the ones who said that we're good, we don't need this. But to turn around and then act like it's the coordinator's fault. I told y'all was going to do this. Not all of y'all, but some of y'all. I told y'all going to, once we lose, y'all going to play the blame game. So, let me put on my therapist hat. I just put the link to join the show in the chat. And we're going to get rid of some of this delusion by talking in facts. Okay? We're gonna line up the reality to the BS. So when you come in here and vent. I'm gonna let you vent. But then I'm gonna have to ask you some questions. And before somebody come in here and say, well, we really should have let them play in preseason, Commanders didn't let their people play in preseason. They did okay. The Ravens didn't let their people play. They should have won the game, but they didn't. A lot of teams didn't let their people play in preseason, man. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones. But to the people who want to talk to me about D tackles in the first round, okay, the link is in the chat. Feel free to jump in now. Because he was non-existent. Yeah, he had a few run stops, but we knew that. And I'm not drafting a one-facet run-stopping D tackle in the first round when I really need somebody opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Because it makes it too easy to do it. Let me bring in the first guest, the living pizza. What up, though?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How you been?
I'm good, man. You've been quiet. I ain't seen you. I knew you was gonna pop out on me one day.
Oh, it's been a bit, man. It's been a bit. I've been a lot of life. A lot of
Trust me,
life.
I know. Go ahead, talk to me, man. What you think about yesterday's game? My overall view of the game is it was a lot of just uncharacteristic Detroit Lions. Like, it looked like the Packers were the Lions and the Lions were the Packers. They imposed their will on us. We just did a lot of dumb stuff that we didn't have to do. There's even one play I thought they were going to flag Amon-Ra St. Brown on because he was trying to double select.
Because he punched, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, bro. Like,
he punched, bro. I don't think they called a flag. I don't think they called a flag on it because he was still in bounds and it kind of sort of looked like a stiff arm. So it made the appearance that it was like an angry ass stiff arm, but I mean, looking at the game, I expected Green Bay to win. I expected my guys to win, primarily just because you guys have a lot of moving parts. There's just a lot of new things happening within that, like the interior of the offensive line, which is what was the basis for a lot of your guys' attack. So with that being said, and losing, he retired at like 29. So that was a bit of a shock. So you have all those moving pieces. You got new offensive coordinators, and it wasn't like the coordinators were trash beforehand. So you got some new guys coming in to fill in the gaps. And your head coach, your head coach isn't like the architect of the offense and defensive side of the ball. He's more of a leader of men type of coach. You put all that together, it might not be the best performance. I didn't see that though.
I think the reason you wasn't expecting to see that, and this is what got most Lions fans frustrated and angry and coming up with these weird theories and stuff, is because we looked like we were unprepared. We looked at so bad. we looked at like we were not a powerhouse. We looked like we wasn't ready to take that next step.
I mean, did your guards play in the preseason?
They did, and that's what I was just going to say. They actually did play in the preseason. Ratliff played in the preseason. Mahogany played in the preseason. I'm almost sure I saw Mahogany play. And then he's the starter. I think the only one who didn't play was probably Frazier, right? But we lost another tackle, the backup tackle, right? Like this, at the end of the day, the issues were bigger. And I'm gonna tell you why this could be a blessing because, and I see you in the back, Junior. This could be a blessing because what you see is this opportunity that the Lions are going to be forced to make a move. Now, here's what I predict is going to happen. I think that if we have a bad outing against the Bears, watch we go and upgrade the offense. I promise you, we're going to find some way to upgrade the offense. And the defense is going to just be waiting for Lee McNeil to come back.
Yeah. I mean, overall, though, I think when looking at the performance, Michael Parsons, I think the Packers did an amazing job. For people that don't know who I am, I'm Living Pete's, I'm a Packer fan. But for the people that the Packers on the defensive side of the ball did a great job of doing the thing that you have to do against the Lions of last year and now this year. And that's winning on first and second down. If you do not win on first and second down, you will not win. You will not win that. You will not win that drive. It will not go down well. Because what they played
on, they didn't win on first and second down, and we scored. To your point, yeah.
You know, like they play the way that I play college football. If I can get 2 yards on the first, if I could get 3 yards here, 3 yards there, and then on third and down, and we can turn it into 4th and 2, we going for it, we converting, and we're gonna keep this drive going. And so, if you can just somehow manage to get it 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and get your pass rush going, that's where things get shaky. And for one reason or another, I think particularly with Michael Parsons, every time they brought them on 3rd down, you can look at the tape. They're just communication problems. You could just see it, especially on that.
They're trying to figure out. See, this I'm gonna tell you what you missed. I had so many Lions fans tell me how overrated he is, and I went, "What?" And I said, "That's funny because had we traded for Michael Parsons, you'd be saying we're going to the Super Bowl." And he had his way in the limit. Think about this, y'all. He didn't even play a full load of snaps.
He played 30 snaps. He got 30 snaps. He got 30. He got 30 plays.
It's frustrating, man. But I get what you're saying, and again,
I mean, looking at it,
the Packers, the benefit is this, and this is the only reason why I'm not going to downplay this as, it's just one game, it's just week one. That one game, that week one game was a division and conference game.
Yeah.
So you're starting off behind the 8 ball on the division. That's how I look at it. So I can't just write it off. But you got anything else before I get the next guest in, man? I just want to try to give everybody their fair amount of time to vent, get their stuff out, let their piece be spoken, and then
what would you say? What would you say in terms of like how if you were to like let's say looking at the Lions, they're more of a let's just see if our guys mesh. Like even like after if they lose next week to Chicago, I think that's Chicago next week. But
I believe
how would you bring out the strengths of that O-line and that D-line to create pressure? Because that was just the real problem. The O-line just wasn't communicating well. They weren't moving well, especially under stress. And then that D-line couldn't generate pressure. They just couldn't do it.
Well, I think to me, the way I would bring up the offensive line play is, and this is just going to be a very sobering moment, but honestly, if you're going to run the ball, which is what I want us to stick to, I want us to stick to that run thing, you got to get me some stretch plays. I don't remember seeing too many stretch plays, yesterday. And on top of that, you got to start to do things that throw them off just a little bit because you need to get alignment and change to move in space. And so they're going to have to learn to gel with each other. The sad part is it's going to suck because they're going to have to do this again next year because I don't think we're going to retain Graham Glasgow. I think they're going to look to upgrade that offensive line again next year, and it's going to be that way. But I just think that they're going to have to like get them to do this a little bit more. The defensive side of the ball, the answer is really freaking simple, and I know people is not going to like this, but the answer is very simple. You got to find somebody opposite of Hutch because you're not getting what you need out of it. If you're going to tell me that Lopez can get more snaps than Tyleik Williams and you took him in the first round, and I have a very strict rule, if I draft you in the first or second round, that they need to start. Come on now. Like put Tyleik Williams, he's supposed to have all these pass rush moves, put him at the DN spot. And let Lopez play the D tackle. But whatever they're doing right now, it's not going to work because you don't have that talent up front for that style. If you got to drop people in the coverage trying to confuse the quarterback while you blitz others, and then you can do. And we blitzed 6 a few times, and it never was close to the quarter. He sat back there comfortably. Like there was not even nobody near there. Like he could have farted.
My girlfriend said he could have had a tea party back there with his wife.
And he could have. It was so much time back there. So they need to get somebody opposite of him. And this is why I made a post that said the Lions need to trade for Kayvon Thibodeau. And my reason for saying that was simply because I'm like, look, I get it. Kayvon Thibodeau, he should still have his 5th-year option on him. Okay. But if you get him, right? If you get him, he's got to be better than Marcus Davenport. 1. 2. Oh, Junior, no. Junior. Come back, Junior. He's got to be better than Marcus Davenport, right? Mm-hmm. But they got Andre Carter and Brian Burns. All of them ain't going to be playing all the time. So I feel like that's a valuable pickup. But they said the Packers, from what I read, the Packers were close to a deal for Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah. I'm glad that didn't go through. Well, it's more I'm glad Jerry is Jerry.
Right. So I get it.
My last question is just a curious one. What was that? Alex Anzalone returning kicks on kickoff return, or like who was that?
That was Taylor, the running back that we got, and that was Grant Stewart, linebacker and special teams guy. So that's who it was. I don't know why it wasn't Khalif Raymond, but that's something we have to talk to the thing. And this is another thing that I pointed out too. As bad, that's the starting offensive line with your starting quarterback and your starting receivers and and they couldn't protect him. And people was on Hendon Hooker's head. When he didn't have poor protection and couldn't get nothing done. So just to be fair, Junior, come on back, man. I need you back, Junior. But yeah, I appreciate you for coming through. And again, kudos to your team for getting the win. I think we'll get them the second time. Because by that time, hopefully we have made some changes. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Let me bring in my next guest, man. I hope Junior come on back, but I'm bringing in my man Ed W. Ed, come on, brother. Talk your stuff, brother.
Man, you taking me back to the days where I used to be labeled as Lion's disease.
Man, why they call you Lion's disease? Because you were telling the truth?
No, I just call myself Lion's disease. I for some reason, I just love the losing team. Come
on, man.
Okay. There's always been a pattern. I used to get on Aaron Glenn. Remember back in the day? You defended Aaron Glenn though, for real. And then he finally got it together. And I was hoping that
he got more help. He got more talent at it. And then people started getting hurt, and he was still making it work with that.
Well, he got more help, but it was always the secondary. He didn't really get any help on the line, really. Luckily, was it McNeil turned himself around because that first year was shaky. And I gave that because we're gonna go back to old thoughts here. I say, well, if they double Hutch, what if McNeil? What if they had to double both of them? Right? We used to have that discussion, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that should open up something for the other end." We're back in the same square one phase. That's all. We don't have. I figure Brad out. Brad wants the secondary to help the line. Like they'll do the bulk of the work, and we're gonna and the line. They just got to get to the quarterback. We stop the run, and the rest of the guys will cover it. But it hasn't really worked out, man. It's not, the football's not designed that way. Do you agree?
I feel like it's not designed that way. I think it can work that way if you have the right guys in place. But I give you a perfect example of why it can't work that way, because if you look at the front seven of the Ravens, it's pretty good. But they had 2 6-round pick rookies out there at cornerback, and it showed. Right? So football has to have pieces work in unison for it to work. And I think the one time that they got close on a quote unquote quarterback hit or pressure was a coverage thing, right? So it can go both ways. I just don't think that should be the approach, especially when you look at this team and the biggest weakness 5 years ago was the defense.
Okay, but here we football talk. It'll definitely work if you want to run a 3-4. It's not going to work on this 4-3 that we're trying to do with hybrids. That you want to do all this hybrid thing, especially when you're recruiting injured players, and on top of the fact that the scheme you run injures players, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so every time we're trying to go, we make this major step forward. We're always going to keep taking this major step back. It seems like we're just we're spinning our wheels. We're not breaking through. Then this almighty offense, we've seen it. I'm tired of the Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnsons, and we've seen good offenses. We've also seen a lot of bad stuff happening, even with the great offense. And I'm just waiting for the wheels to fall off where Jared Goff throws 5 more picks against some of these teams we're going to have. And can this defense hold with the struggles that we're having? Our defense ain't that yet. And he won't. And like you said, I just need him to put the resources into the defense, because the offense is good enough. And Johnny Morton, he's a pass down the field, and I don't think he's taking the training wheels off yet to let Stafford try to throw it down there because of the new line.
You mean
golf? My bad.
But here's the reality, though. Here's the reality, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. The gameplay was not the issue. The execution was, because with the way that they was getting in there, and the way they was getting near Goff and had Goff. Let me tell you something.
I'm with it.
To the people who don't understand this and they look at me and think I'm crazy, and why I was like, yo, I understand Goff is your guy. You want to say all these things, and why I had this burning sensation to talk about Brad Holmes was because the offense has always not been the problem. When were you going to re-up for the defense to become as equal to the offense? Because what's happening now is you're starting to see it take effect in a way where you're not even getting near the people. And unfortunately, we've been dropping DNs in the coverage. We did it with James Houston. We did it with Marcus Davenport. We've done it multiple times with Aiden Hutchinson. And the only time we was okay with him dropping in coverage is when he gets an interception. And everybody's like, oh, well, he got an interception and it's cool. This is not changed.
Exactly, but Luke, I'm definitely agreeing with you. But in the system that we have with all this drop in the coverage, it only gets these players hurt because you're playing you're playing them out of a position that they naturally play. The guys that we have are built to stop the run and get to other specialized guys that rush the quarterback. A guy that rushes, you might as well take Hutchinson and drop Hutchinson back as a linebacker too, and just let him scramble around. It's playing them out of the positions that they naturally do well. That's what I'm screaming at.
But we've always done this though, and that's what I'm saying.
I want it to stop. That's my argument. I can't make it stop, but I'm gonna drive on that.
But see, the other part of it is this too, right? sometimes, a player has to be greater than his build, and they got to win the one-on-ones. Now, Craig Ferguson asked, do we know what the game plan was? It was clear to me, which is what I thought they should have did. Go after the linebackers. But the problem was we couldn't block to save our lives, right? And then on top of that, when you did try to run the ball out wide or you did throw the ball short to try to get your guy to work in space, guess what happened? The blocking was so horrible that he's met with 2 and 3 defenders with nowhere to go. And then you get the ball on the 1 yard line, right? You get the ball on the 1 yard line. People are like, why would you call a run play there? Yeah. Throw the ball deep. I'm like, so you're going to risk getting the safety when they clearly can't stop this pass rush. They can't stop it. Just run the ball, get it out of there and punt it and get it away. Play field position and see what happens. But there were too many things in execution that was not going the way that I thought it should go. And there were some personnel decisions that I was like, okay, why are we not doing this? Right? Like, I want to see more. And I get it. There was one play where they play action and shot it down the field. That was great. But at that point, the Packers are playing a softer defense. They're just trying to get out of there unscathed, unhurt. There's no way for you to come back.
But right? in years previous, though, Luke, we always had a game or two that was with a team that wasn't totally on par. We can get ourselves right. We don't have room for error to get these guys right this year.
And that's the thing. No, say, hell, they look the same now. You said the offense and defense look the same now. They look good together now, huh? That's the thing, though, man. Like, yes, this is not a rust issue. This is not a coordinator issue. This was a lack of discipline issue. This was a lack of execution issue. They were doing stupid stuff that didn't need to happen for no reason.
Oh, they need to happen. Some of the players have that prima donna attitude since they've gotten a little money and a little bit of fame. That goes with it. But that interior core line, how do we get them better? Because after the Bears, it get real rough.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the Bears is gonna be rough. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm gonna watch the Bears. I've been watching the Bears quietly build to try to catch up. This is where it gets scary. And I keep trying to tell people this. Brad Holmes didn't hire Dan Campbell. We had Dan Campbell first. Okay. So we can't give him credit for the Dan Campbell hire. All right. What he has done is been a good guy at talent evaluation for the most part. And that's cool. Brad Holmes ain't out here doing these contracts. Do we have a guy for that? Most teams have a guy for that. Brad Holmes likes to look at talent, and he likes to do it in a way that's structured so it doesn't count. But this is where I distance myself from him, because it's like, when are you going to realize that the window is not big? So now you got the Bears,
this year,
I'm telling you, people, y'all need to think about this. We're going to go against the Bears, then the Ravens. I want y'all, for all the people who are saying this is just week one, which is, even though it's a division game, even though it's a conference game, even though this game it's got more implication than you might know. The Lions' next 3 games are Bears at home, on the road against the Ravens, and at home against the Browns. If they come out of the first games 2-2, you would say that's a win. Most fans will call that a win. After that, they go on the road against the Bengals. Then you got the Chiefs. Then the Bucks and the Vikings. If they come out of those games 2-2, right? That means you 4-4. Then you go to Commanders, Eagles, Giants, Packers. If they go 2-2, you're 6-6. Then you have the Cowboys, the Rams, the Steelers, the Vikings. And if they come out of that game 2-2, you're 8-8. So here's the problem with this. Many of those conference games and those division games are what we're looking at. And I'm not looking to just win the division. I want the Super Bowl. Make no mistake about it. But I'm making the point that now you can't come out flat against the Bears. Because coming out flat against the Bears could mean you starting out 1-3. Because I believe you'll beat the Browns. But to start out 1-3, that's not good. That's not good. That's very scary and it's dangerous. So I'm only making that point to say this.
0-2 in our conference.
That's what I'm saying. I'm only making the point to say this. If this is your Super Bowl window and you're starting out 1-3, this is a rough start. That's all I'm saying. We can't
be in Brad's mind, but I can't sit up here and seriously tell you that Brad looks at this season as we need to make the Super Bowl. I can't seriously tell you that with the decisions he's made.
I can't talk about Brad Holmes because every time I do it, I'm scolded for it. So I'm about giving solutions. What's the solution? What would you do at this point? Not what you would have done, but at this juncture right now, going forward, what would you do? What's the solution?
The solution to win these games right now is once you're just going to have to find a way to get those guys in super heavy pass protections, play action, and drop some long bombs on them. That we're going to have to find a way to do some slants out. But you're going to have to keep everybody almost in a jumbo protection to protect Wingo and Ratledge. From what I saw them actually kind of hold their own. They didn't break, but Ratledge got every time they was doing these stunts and switching people on him, he didn't know where to go. And I don't know who's there on leadership besides Sewell that can help settle the guy down. And this is your gap. Those are the things, intangibles that you're talking about. But that's the fix to the offense. The defense, these are the pieces we got. We're going to have to just find a way to pray that somebody else besides Hutch can actually get to a quarterback.
Well, Hutch can't even get to a quarterback. He didn't register a single tackle. So he didn't even get to the quarterback. And I don't want to hear he coming up with injury because all I've been hearing is the Hutch rule. The Hutch rule.
Right. That's my. But at the same time, did they really? I mean, I didn't rewatch it yet, but did they really run at him or did they run away from him?
They ran at him. They had a few times they ran at him. They were not. He was not a factor. And this is the other part. Just to give people, I always post if you follow the channel, you actually subscribe, you'll see the notification. I post the halftime stats every game. And the reason I started doing that is because I believe that there's been a lot of revisionist history going on where people somehow seem to think that this didn't happen and there's no record of it, because when you go to most websites, they don't track first half stats versus second half stats. They just track the game stats. And so I started posting what the stats show at halftime to show it. And guess what I was mostly alarmed with when posting these stats. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. After the first half, we're down 17-3. Both teams had 8 first downs. I want y'all to think about this. All of their first downs for the Packers came on passing plays, and 1 came on a penalty. The Lions had 5 first down plays on passing and 2 on rushing, 1 on penalty. Third down, 4-8 versus 4-6. Lions 4-8, Packers 4-6. Packers didn't even go for it on fourth down. They didn't have to. Lions did. They were 1 for 1. Total plays. The Lions ran 32 plays compared to the Packers 23. And for the half, total yards as a team, the Lions had 123 yards compared to 178. How the hell do you run 32 damn plays and walk out with 123 yards? Now, for the people who ain't a mathematician, neither am I, simply take 123 and divide that by 32. And you can get your average yard per play, which was 3.8. That means it's including pass and run and they were averaging as an offense 3.8 yards. That's not even enough for the first down. All right. So we have to start to look at this and say to ourselves, how do we get to that point? But if you think that was alarming, right? They both had 4 drives. Okay. And we had 75 yards passing on 16 passing attempts. 16. Now, I'm putting this all out there so we can understand this. What did the Packers see? And I might need to bring Pizza back in for this. What did the Packers see that said, if we're going to beat this team, we're going to have to pass it on them? Because they clearly had no fear. Now, you start to ask yourself, all right, maybe it wasn't that bad, right? Maybe, Luke, you tripping. Things happen. Time of possession at halftime, 19 minutes and 34 seconds compared to 10 minutes and 26 seconds. So not only were they scoring, they were scoring quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Then I said, well, you know, how many times they ran the ball? 7. 7 times? Okay, well, how many yards they get? 11. 11 yards. That's 1.6. Oh, but right. Because you had 2 run stuffers in the defense. Of course they're not going to be able to run the ball. Okay. So then I go and I look and, you know, survey, you know, the team, just to look at the stats. And I'm just looking at the linebacker stats, the quarterback hit stats, and then I look at ours, and it's a bunch of zeros on defense. And I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how is that possible for you to have a bunch of freaking zeros at halftime, people. Hear me and hear me good. We had 16 carries for 48 yards. David Montgomery had 8 carries for 24 yards, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 6 carries for 22 yards. And in case you did not know, people, Jahmyr Gibbs set a record. Did you know that? He's the first player in NFL history to have double-digit receptions in 31 yards. That is the least amount of yards for a person with double-digit receptions. So now, all right, you go and look at that. On top of that, Terrion hurt. He out. We don't know how long, but he's out. And the first time you get any life, it comes from the most unlikely source, Pat O'Connor. People, this right here was literally showing you. If you look at the game now, the teletapes, it showed who was doing what. Now, I need Junior to come back. Junior, you've been gone long enough. Get back here, man.
So look, I got a good question for you, my friend.
Okay.
We got, Jordan Love. With the rest of the remaining schedules that we have left, would you rank him really high of the mobile quarterbacks that we have to face?
Not even close.
Okay. So him being the weakest link of the quarterbacks that we have to face, that's why this game was so important to me. Because the other ones can actually, if we give Jordan Love 4 or 5 seconds, the rest of them going to have Lamar Jackson show what happens when you give him 12 seconds to be in the backfield. This is why this game was so scary.
These are the quarterbacks in order: Caleb Williams, Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco. Which, although I think the Browns might actually go with Shador, but them 2 interceptions, I don't know. But Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow, he taking off. Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, he'll take off. JJ McCarthy, he'll take off. Daniels, he'll take off. Jalen Hurts, he'll take off. Right now it's Russell Wilson, but it could be dark by the time we play the Giants. And both of them, for the most part, will take off. Then you get Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, JJ McCarthy, Caleb Williams.
So
good, though.
3 quarterbacks that's pocket passers. Everybody else is super mobile.
We're good. We good. We got Marcus Davenport. I don't want to tell people Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love ran one time that game.
He didn't have to do nothing.
He didn't. Man, listen, people. He was sitting pretty. I'm talking about. I've never seen anything like that, man. Like when I tell you, I was genuinely confused. And this is what I think it is. Most of us do not recognize the team that was out there. And that's where the frustration comes in at. Because we don't recognize them. If that team is somebody that we recognize and we just lost a close game, we can understand that. We didn't even look like we were close or in the game. Jared Goff threw the ball 39 times in this game. You're not winning like that. You're just not.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the record, Jordan Love took off and ran 3 times for 4 yards.
Okay.
And 2 of those were knees. like I want y'all to think about this. He did not have to take off and run because he was sitting pretty. And if you want to know the stat line for it, I'm not making this up. This is a true story. Our leading tackler was Jack Campbell, followed by Derek Burns, Terrion Arnold, DJ Reader and Brian Branch Ty, Alex Anzalone, Amik Roberts. Marcus Davenport actually registered 2 solo tackles, 1 assist. He had no quarterback hits, no sacks, no tackles for a loss. Tyleik Williams had 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 assist. And the guy, the man, the myth, the legend. You're all great. Aiden Hutchinson, no tackles, no assists, no sacks, no tackles for a loss, just a singular quarterback hit. And we had a total of 2 quarterback hits for the game, while the Packers had a total of 9 quarterback hits and 4 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Just put that in your pipe and smoke it and think about it, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they just nullified our best players, and the rest of them aren't ready to get up there. No. It's what they say, play to your strength and hide your weakness.
So, let me...
All right. Go ahead, my man. I'm going to get back in.
All right. Again, listen, let me just go through and hit on some of these comments. Lamar Jackson is salivating to play us. I believe it. Junior, get back in here. Where you at now? J Love can move now. It's because Green Bay's system isn't overly reliant on quarterback scrambles. I mean, that's a good point. I see you still in the back, so if that's a good point. It says we got the guys. Where are they? That's the real question, though. Like, I got judged for asking for more. What are you talking about, man? He went out and got Brian Branch. He went out and got Kirby Joseph. He went out and got... I hear you, bro. And guess what? It amounted to us getting the best record of our entire franchise history in a quick, swift exit. I would much rather have the record that the Giants had and win the Super Bowl. We got nothing. JGB says, Luke, don't you find it weird how Dan keeps bringing up the 2023 season? Yes, because he know that was the shot. And what should have happened was the general manager just said, hey, I'm going to get you everything you need because I don't want to miss this window. So if I get it, can you get us there? And his response would have been yes. And he should have went out and said, I'm selling my soul to the devil. And then he should have went out and got talent that complements the core players we have. You go out, you get people, but he keep renting defensive players. And that's the problem. I'm telling y'all, if we lose to the Bears, he will go and invest in the offense. I promise you he will. Way before he invests in the defense. Now, my positive takeaway from all this, hey, Marcus Davenport didn't get hurt. Hey, hey, right? He just wasn't a fucking factor. All right. It says, so could we just not afford Zadarius? Man, we had more than enough money to afford Zadarius Smith 10 times over. In fact, I'm going to show you how crazy this is. Zadarius had a 2-year deal when we traded for him. You didn't even have to cut him. The money was there. You did not have to cut Zadarius Smith. You could have literally added Davenport back and kept Zadarius Smith. You could have did that easily. It would have been no problem. They dropped Hutch and Davenport into coverage on 3rd and 7. The fuck were they thinking? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what they're thinking. Stay with me. We've been doing this. This is not the first year. This is not something that all of a sudden started because Calvin Shepard's the defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn was doing this, and it's because it's what Dan Campbell wants. He wants this. He wants to be a man coverage heavy team. He wants to confuse you by dropping certain players in the coverage that you wouldn't expect to be in coverage. It's also one of the another reasons why they line Aiden Hutchinson out so far. If you go and look at any tape of Aiden Hutchinson in conjunction to other people, he lines up so far out wide so he can run out there and force the tackle to come out there, and he spins back inside. So that way, even if a quarterback run, he really don't have an outside lane because he's so far out there. Well, the Packers sat there and said, well, run out there. They didn't even go and chase him. They said, run out there. I can show you play after play where instead of them trying to hound him, they said, you want to line up wide like that? Stay out there. But we've been doing it. This is nothing new. Man, listen, they didn't even play Mike Green much, but I saw enough to know that he would have been so perfect for the Lions. Trust me. Willie Ross says Brad did nothing to prepare us free agency and draft. In his head, he did. And that's the thing. And because we're not an NFL GM, we can't talk about him. Or was it 2022 we started 1-6? I can't remember. I had to go and look it up. I'm sorry. Brad getting fired next year? No, he's not, and he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be fired. No, Willie, he shouldn't be fired. You know why? Because nobody really wants him to get fired. What we want him to do is to legitimately make the defense as equal as the offense. He spares no expense for the offense. And that's because he's tied at the hip with Jared Goff. And he feels that he goes as far as his quarterback go. Similar to what, when you look at Bob Quin. Bob Quin tied himself to the hip of Matt Patricia. So you can't go from a winning season to a bunch of losing seasons and tie yourself to the hip of a guy who's losing and you retain him. So that's why you're seeing that. We need him to start to address the defense with that same sense of urgency. Brent DeWitt says execution a major factor. Then what percentage of increase in offensive line execution with Frank the Tank starting? I say we win that game. I feel like if he did start, we definitely would have won that game because we'd have been able to run the ball. This is what happened when you become one-dimensional. They literally knew, and Pizza, let me see if he's still on. Pizza, let me bring you back. Pizza, you there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Just been listening.
Right. Now, Pizza made the point that I love, which is they won the battle on first and second downs, whereas the Lions have always been good on first and second downs, making their third downs even easier because it's usually 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. It's short. Well, we didn't win the battle this time, and we became one-dimensional, and Pizza stopped me when I'm wrong, and every time we had a 3rd and 7 or 3rd and long, they just trotted out Parsons and told everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
and just said,
like, oh, okay, 3rd and 7, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Pass rush.
And that was the adjustment that Hafley made. He learned his lesson. It took 2 games versus the Lions to learn it, but he had learned that he could not play his soft cover 2s, cover 3s, and all of that on first and second down. You just can't do it because you're essentially setting them up. The Lions love to set up for easy conversions or if not easy 4th down conversions. So if you can force their hand, to that 3rd down, now you can do what you want to do. And you saw it. Our linebackers tackled well. That's why Jamar Gibbs had 10 catches or 31 yards.
and this is the other part. This other part I want people to remember, okay? Because I believe that there's a simple fix to this. All right. Y'all wouldn't believe me if I told y'all this, but how many passing yards do y'all think the Packers had to have 27 points? How many passing yards y'all think they had total? If I said over or under 250, what would you say?
I'd say under.
Under? All right.
Probably
over
say under
250 Packers passing yards. In the chat, what do y'all think? Because here's the scary part. And this is the only part that I think we need to acknowledge when looking at this. If you said over, you would be wrong. They didn't even have 200 yards passing. I want y'all to think about this. They didn't even have 200 yards passing. They had 188.
Yeah, I was like 172. Somewhere around there.
Opportunities for the Lions were there. They were there. But the difference is that while they were there, we just couldn't get home to save our life.
I'd also point to not just that, but the red zone, the way we handled our red zone execution compared to you all.
1 for 4.
And that 1 for 4 came from in garbage time with that kid that made that one-hander.
That's a great catch by him. I'm not even gonna lie. First of all, that catch was stupid. Second of all, I don't know why he doesn't get in the game until 58 seconds. Third of all, this same thing has happened before because I remember when we had Jamal Williams, they had some kind of backhand door deal, and every Lions fan turned on DeAndre Swift, and then Swift goes on with the Eagles and do well. He's doing well with the Bears. And I'm thinking to myself, Jamal Williams ain't it. He's done this before with other players where he's had some kind of backdoor deal with him, aka Marcus Davenport. And these guys come in and they start over other people. And I'm just showing y'all that their leading receiver was targeted 4 times, had 2 catches for 68 yards, no touchdowns. That was Romeo Doubs. And then Jaden Reed had 3 catches for 45 yards and 1 touchdown. But they wasn't even, it wasn't like they were putting a clinic on us. We had more yards than them because we were trying to play catch up. They didn't start running the ball seriously until the end of the game just to kill the clock. So I'm just saying, I have an easy fix for this though. All right. And Pizza, I know you don't got to agree with this because your team is the Packers. So kudos to you. Right. But here's my fix to this. All right. Y'all ready? Okay. Stay with me, people. Because when I gave y'all a suggestion last time, I was told I was crazy. And I'm going to reiterate the fix for both sides. Tate Ratledge has to play center. Luke, what are you saying? I'm going to repeat it again. Tate Ratledge has to play center. Yeah. And Graham Glasgow is going to have to communicate the coverages to Tate Ratledge. And the reason I say that small swap will make a difference is because one thing that Tate Ratledge excel at is run blocking. And when they run a stunt his way, he will have guards to help him. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about Mahogany and what Mahogany looked like. But let me just be clear with you. Mahogany didn't look like that when he had a guy like Frank Ragnow next to him. He got Graham Glasgow. And if any of y'all remember Graham Glasgow, even when he had Frank Ragnow next to him, he was very underwhelming. But if you do that small switch, just a little switch, I believe you're going to be able to still run the ball up the middle and have it. The reason they did not want that is because Ratledge is much more athletic at being able to pull than Glasgow. All right. Now, that's that fix. On the defense, the fix to the defense is real simple. All right. Y'all not going to like this. You have to turn Marcus Davenport into a situational pass rusher. Do the same thing the Packers did. 3rd and 7, he comes in and get to just go crazy and pass rush. But in the meantime, Tyleik Williams gets to be the other D tackle opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, or the other DN opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. And Lopez and Reader are your D tackles. You're still able to shore up the defense, but if Tyleik Williams is who y'all say he is, then he should be able to win a one-on-one on the outside. I don't think he's him, but what do I know? This would at least buy you time until Aleem McNeil is healthy. Then Tyleik Williams can then go back to the inside, and McNeil can go to the other DN opposite of him. This fixes your trenches problem. Now, how do you fix the problem with the play calling? Because this is what y'all want to point out. Y'all want to keep saying it's play calling. Play calling is dictated by play. They were beating the brakes out of us at the line of scrimmage. So it's hard to call a deep pass when they tried to call one, he gets sacked or he's under duress. I mean, hell, he took off on one play and it like he's gonna pull a hamstring. And people don't realize Parsons ran from the far right.
Yeah, he came in, he cut inside. He had cut, he was lined up. They lined him up, and they Heffley calls it the cheetah. They put Michael Parsons at the nose tackle or one of the nose tackle positions, and had him run a twist inside to the left guard, and golf roll to the right tackle and got like a 2-3 yard advantage on him. And Micah had to cut through all of that and hunt him down.
Come on, man. And then Detroit D says, what about Wingo? What about him? Because you're only going to get so much, right? Because you think about the people you're naming. Most of these people are meh at best. Meh. The word great, good don't come with these names that you're naming to most of these people. But like Wheat, what do y'all expect him to do? He ain't him. Yeah. He ain't him. That's not him. And if you put him in to start, it's no different than Davenport. It just buy Davenport more time not to get hurt. That's what I'm saying. Right? Like that's just what I'm saying. So now we fixed those two pieces. Now I'm finna give you the effecto fix to making the offense get back to its roots. You ready for this? Watch this. You don't change anything. You stop getting stupid penalties in crucial points of the game. Because guess what? If you look at all the games across the league, look at all the people who made dumb decisions and dumb penalties and how it came back to hunt them. You cannot do it. We went from playing disciplined football to undisciplined foolery. Ripping off helmets and throwing them. Going up to people, crazy to them.
That penalty was insane.
Like we got.
Who was that? Who was that? That was
That's Brian
Branch.
We lucked up and got a penalty for a dude deciding he wanted to stand over the player. Kudos. Let's go. Let's get something done with it. We walk out with a field goal. And here go the other thing I want to point out to every single person in here, right? To every person in here who bitched, who moaned, who whined, who complained, who was frustrated, who was aggravated, who was upset, who was angry, and could not control their emotions because we went for it on fourth too much. Tell me how many more fourth downs you wanted to go for in that game.
There were no fourth downs y'all could have went for it. That's what I was saying.
But this is my point. This is my point. We had fourth downs we could have went from, but he did the smart thing and took the field goals. And we lost because guess what? 4th down territory is different. It's different. We could have literally went for it on a few 4th downs. In fact, let me go back and look at it because I'm almost sure of something. I want to just double check this before I say it because my memory sometimes will get the best of me. If I look at the play-by-play, just the play-by-play of this team, it was 4th and 14 after we got a false start penalty on 4th and 9. Do y'all understand that we had an offside penalty on offense? I want y'all to think about this. Like, Jamison Williams had an offside penalty on offense. On 4th and 14, right? We would generally go for it. We punt. All right, cool. Because if he went for it on 4th and 14, people would have said, oh my God, you went for it on 4th and 14. We are in the red zone on our next possession. We go 16 plays, 78 yards for 9 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay? We get a holding penalty. No, matter of fact, I take that back. They got the holding penalty, which helped us. All right? Then we get the offside penalty, which put us back. So that's now 1st and 15. We then get a run up the middle, making it 2nd and 2. Then we get another run for a first down with there. Now we come out and we're 2nd and 12 because we throw the ball deep. We get the deep pass on 2nd and 12 to Amon-Ra St. Brown. They tried to challenge it, say it wasn't a catch. They said nope, it was. Now we back at 1st and 10.
Hell of a catch, too.
It was definitely a catch. It wasn't even close. The feet drug. He did his damn thing. Now it's 3rd and 1. We call a play to David Montgomery. We get the 1st, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd. It's 4th and 5. Do you know where we were at on 4th and 5? Because to give you the logistics of it, the field goal is only 30 yards. In the past, we would have went for it. But we didn't because people were bitching and moaning about him going for it. And you know what the Packers did? Watch this. You're going to love this. 2 plays. 2-play
touchdown.
They score a touchdown. 2 plays.
I mean, both of those plays, I mean, that was the other question I had. So I noticed that I don't know quite the name of your new DC, but I noticed that he was playing a lot of cover 2 and a lot of like Tampa 2 looks where it was dependent on like I think Jack Campbell to reach depth. And on those 2 plays, and then the one I think was the first touchdown to Kraft, Jack Campbell either he just couldn't get to depth quick enough in the middle of the field, and we just kept striking y'all over and over on deep posts in between the safeties. So like, you know, like is Campbell usually a good, you know, coverage back or 3-down back, or what's up with that?
I think it's just what we always do. We run a lot of man coverage. We try to hide stuff within there, and it's just we're predominantly a man coverage team, right? And when I look at the routes that they were running, it was to challenge the man. There was a lot of crossing routes. They were doing shit that we was doing, having people cross each other to bump them off the route. They were doing that. So I think it's just more that's just the way we run it. That's what Dan Campbell wants. That's what we want. But my attitude is, if I'm going to play man, I need dogs up front. Not a dog. I need dogs. They can be a lot of places. I'm only asking for them to go and get us one more dog.
I mean, maybe he would be expensive, but Trey Henderson should still, unless his contract's signed. I mean, I think he's a target out there, you know. But overall, like I think the big issues was just one, we could do whatever we want in terms of just pass protection. Now, a lot of the time, I rewatched it, you know. Aiden Hutchinson got his chips, he got his attention, but for the most part, you know, Zach Tom, Walker, whoever it was, it didn't really quite matter. They got their they got their one-on-ones and they took care of business when it was time. So is everybody on that team is going to have to be better. I think that's just going to be the big thing. I mean, you can't have it where Zach Tom goes out and then we have somebody come in. I forget the fella's name, but he comes in and they still can't do anything. They still can't generate any pressure. We're missing our star left tackle, and we still are looking like everything's peaches and candy.
Right. And here's the other part that we have to take into account too. Each year that go by, other teams are getting better. The Packers were embarrassed the last time we played them. I think it was like, 52, 40? What the hell was that score? It was terrible. It was high.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. We went to town on them. And we celebrated, moonwalked, and everything. Lambeau leaped and all.
Yeah.
And this is why I told y'all.
Embarrassing.
This is why I told y'all when people start talking about bulletin board material, if you need that, man, you don't deserve to win. You just don't. You just don't deserve to win. So off rip, I'm not gonna do it. Junior, where you at, man? He ain't came back yet. Junior. So I get what everybody is saying, but but John Jones is wilding. He said, "I'm sorry for being late, but I'm here. So let's restart the stream." It's about y'all, man. It's about what y'all want to talk about. I got a Packers fan on, right? And he can, he can tell us the perspective, but they really did. If you put it like this, the performance that the Packers put on yesterday, if they were going against the Ravens, would they win that game with that performance?
I'd say yeah. If our O-line can play like that, yeah.
Okay. So
but if you see him with Michael on a snap count and all that, no. Defensively, that'd be rough.
It'd been a hard day, right? If you took that same team and they were going against the Bills or they were going against the Eagles, you think 180 yards passing would be enough to win that game?
Well, you got to think about it like this. That was what was needed, though. It wasn't like Jordan was so efficient. I mean, if you look at the efficiency and then the yards per play, we really didn't need much at the end of the day,
Right.
But it wasn't really needed. It wasn't just in terms of the yardage. It was just, like you said, 2-play touchdown. 50-yard bomb, 30 yards, 30-yard pick play, easy. And then by the time we got to the third quarter, you can look at Josh Jacobs. By the time we got to the third quarter, Josh Jacobs, his yardage shot up. I know because I have him on fantasy. So because his yardage shot up.
At first, they couldn't run, so they knew that at this point we got to do it. So it's force feeding at that point, and I'm okay with that. Now, shout out to the people, the whole talk about JMO, but this is what I've been talking about for the longest. The JMO signing is a brilliant decision. Because if you wait and J-Mo balls out this season and he balls out the next year, that contract becomes more expensive. So getting him under contract now, whether he balls out or not, he's still under contract. Yeah.
And if he works, even if he doesn't play, let's say he gets to that point where he's an expensive player, an expensive extension, but he isn't quite up to the standard where you guys want him to be, you can always trade him. You could still get value out of him rather, you having to, sign him at an exuberant rate and then him falling off a cliff and him being older. So it's a good signing.
Yeah. And again, the Jets would have won that game against Green Bay. Aaron Glenn got the Jets looking like, let me tell y'all something, man. Justin Fields didn't even look like Justin Fields that we knew. This dude was lasering the ball. And a lot of talk has been talking about where the offensive coordinator that they have, that Dan Campbell should have made him the coordinator and not brought Morton in. Now, the thing that I think we forget is David Shaw is still on this team. But I'm not worried about the coordinators because it wasn't a play calling issue for me because we have always ran the ball up the middle. We have always did these things. All right. It was just poor execution. I just don't know how blocking assignments was getting missed. The one play where Mahogany got beat, if you look, the quarterback had nowhere to go because Parsons had Sewell on skates. Sewell was trying to anchor himself so he couldn't go further. And Dacker was on skates from Rashawn Gary. And Wyatt, we just going to leave it alone because people say he was overrated too.
I don't know how you looked at DeAndre Wyatt's tape and said he was overrated. He had a great season.
Say he's overrated. I'm a Lions fan, bro. I'm a Lions fan. Nobody's going to challenge me on this. I'm a Lions fan, and I have people trying to tell me that Aiden Hutchinson is better than Michael Parsons, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what? He can't play the run. He can't play the run.
He ranks above average though. Like he's above average.
But we couldn't even run though. Like we couldn't. Yeah. Like he can't play the run. He wasn't out there, and we still couldn't run.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not trying to be. I'm not a Debbie Downer on it. To me, overall, there's things we can do to fix it. Swap Tate back to center. Let Glasgow be the other guard. Yes,
there also was improvements in the second half. I will say this. There was improvements where you guys kind of started to understand, like, okay, the big plays ain't going to be there. Let's just work our way slowly but surely down the field. And that was working. I mean, you guys had the time of possession. The issue was when you got into the red zone, it was just a different ball game. The game changed.
I would say this. And this is to your point, and to add on to what Super Saiyan Lion is saying is Montgomery should have started this game over Gibbs. I believe that the moment that your game plan was to run up the middle like that, like we always do, I'm with you. You should have started Montgomery in that role and let Gibbs feed off of that. Okay, to me that makes more sense. But what I wouldn't have did is I wouldn't have made myself what's the word I want to use? I wouldn't have made myself put him in for nothing other than at the point that you realize that Gibbs couldn't get going, let's try to switch it up and see if we can rotate him back in. So you have that option to do that, but you didn't. Lions Rumble, Morton looking like Morty from Rick and Morty. Listen, this is remember we was old last time, Rumble. And I try just hear me out. All right. If the play calling was horrible, right? And I went back and I looked at a lot of these games. You're telling me that they had good protection for the quarterback to do it. Well, I saw that. And here's something that y'all don't want to talk about, and I was trying to leave it alone. Your receivers, because, again, if you want to talk about the personnel thing, that's on Dan Campbell. But your receivers were not getting open. And that's the unfortunate truth. They were not getting open. And when they were getting open, your quarterback was under duress. So you have a poor blocking assignment. And I know that you're used to seeing all these explosive plays and this play calling that's so amazing and stuff. But we have always slow burned people when we did things. So I just want to put that out there. Pizza, I'm going to put you back in the back for a second. I want to bring a guest in really quick and let him talk his stuff. And then I don't want to keep y'all too long because I do want us to be able to go and watch the Bears and Vikings game because this game is going to tell me a lot about this division. All right. Hold on, Pizza. Let me bring in my next guest. My man Rumble's in the building. What up, though?
What up, though, Luke?
Man, talk to me, man. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Man, I was severely wrong. I'll take my boots. I got my pants around my ankles, so y'all go ahead and kick me. I was thoroughly ticked off because I felt like we had no pop on either side of the ball. Either line had no pop. There was like almost like they were afraid to engage. You know what I mean? It's like we're playing preseason, but preseason's over with, man. Somebody should have told them the regular season began yesterday. I was really upset at, we're built on grit and discipline and this, that, and the third. I didn't see any of that yesterday. I seen the Packers bullying us They were getting chippy. They didn't respect us. You know what I mean? That Brian Branch penalty, you know what I mean? He was even getting, we know he got, we know he a hothead somewhat, but we know the history there. He had a, so I was not, it's not something I'm proud about as far as the team goes. There was nothing, even though we scored finally in the fourth, there was nothing to be happy about. And it just, I don't know what's going on with this O-line either. I don't know. It's just not a lot of good tape to take away from that game, other than the manhandling we endured. Like again, no injuries. That I guess that's about all I can take from this game.
And this is the other thing I got to point out to everybody. Look at this right here. Stay with me, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell y'all why there's a little bit of optimism on my part. I know when Lee McNeil comes back, it's gonna get better, because nobody wants to hear it, but he is our best defensive lineman. And I'm telling you, that's why I wanted an extra person. But I'm with JGB on this. You got rid of Tim Patrick for what? What did you trade him away for if you wasn't going to freaking play Tesla or Tesla or however you fucking say his name?
Yeah, I guess he was sick. So that was kind of, I still would have started him, man.
Okay, hold on. Let's say he was sick. He was so sick that he couldn't play until 58 seconds in the game. That don't seem that damn sick.
Nah.
And we got to the red zone 4 times. You telling me that you got a 6'4" receiver? Who's the tallest cornerback? I don't even got to worry about who the tallest cornerback is. They're going to automatically respect Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're going to respect Laporta, and they're going to respect J-Mo. He would have single-handedly had opportunities.
Absolutely. I think he would have demanded a double team out there in some of those formations just because of his size. You know what I mean? And that's the thing too. I don't understand why you're not, even if he wasn't 100%, man, put him out there to decoy. Like you said, they were honing in on Amon-Ra. They had 3 guys surrounding him at any given moment. It's like you need to put someone out there who, like you said, even if they aren't getting the ball thrown to them, they demand somebody to keep eyes on them. If not 1, 2 people.
And I agree. I feel like they have to do that, because I just feel like trying to get the ball to Khalif Raymond, even he was about to get a stupid penalty. It's like, come on, bro. We doing too much.
And the thing is, they dropped 8 people. So why is Goff? Where do you think Goff's going to throw the ball if they're dropping 8 people? And they got these whack ass routes. Like there was no. Remember, Green Bay was running like pick routes. You know what I mean? There was some action to their routes. Ours was like, we're in practice. Like, all right, go out there and run me a 10-yard out, and then you go out there and you run me a sideline. It was like so like, okay, do y'all realize this is regular season? This is regular season.
They didn't have time. And shout out to Looney Tunes, because he's right. He says Luke and I was told Green Bay secondary was supposed to be below average. That's what I was told.
I was, but if you drop 8, I don't know, man. I've seen you drop 8 guys. That means that you do not respect what we're bringing. And I mean, they had their safeties back probably 30, 40 yards from the line of scrimmage. They didn't
care. They did not care. There was no threat to them. That's why they didn't care. Yeah. And shout out to Giovanni Lyons, who says, I'm struggling with the team. It's week 1, but it felt like the Commanders game. This is why when I tell people, hey, we could have been healthy, we was losing to the Commanders because the offense played bad. I said, but defensively, we just wasn't able to do anything with the mobile quarterback. This man only had to run 1 time, and that 1 time that he ran was like not even like spectacular. He could have probably got more. He just, it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's like, come on. Super Saiyan Lion says Hutch looked slow as hell.
They all did. Firing off the line. The offensive knows the that's the thing. They know the snap count. So how is the defensive line beating you guys to the snap count? And now you guys are sitting there like, well, there were some old linemen who weren't even blocking anyone. It looked like preseason. Like they did not play these guys in the preseason. so they weren't able to, like, I don't know, man. It just looked bad, bro. And I think somebody in that locker room, the player wise, those captains, they need to be in there firing their players up before they even hit the field. Because
I believe they did do that. I just think that they thought that they were going to come in and roll them. That's what they thought, and they got hit in the face. Now, Dr. Detroit says, when does Hutch come back? That's the sad part. That's funny as hell, but that's the sad part. You and I both know he was out there, right? It says, will Hutch be back this season? I don't know. All I know is I got a cool bet with a few people that I'm finna win.
This is what we're talking about. It's like, how do you pay that guy what you're giving Michael Parsons when he wasn't even in training camp all season, in the off season, and he comes in and disrupts the number one offense or top 5 offense in the league. You know what I mean? So It's like that's why one dude frazzled this whole entire fucking offense. One dude, the guy that I had a whole show. You was there. I said this overrated talk is disrespectful. Yeah.
Like this is BS. This is just trying to cope. Super Saiyan Lion is saying Tesla would be better than J-Mo. Ooh. JGB says, I don't give a. The NFL is a division game. Week 1, set the tone, flew it up, win defense on the field. Green Bay, let us know they coming for the crown. Yep.
Absolutely.
They put you on notice. That falls on the coach 100%. The head coach is the one who had to make those personnel decisions, and whatever backdoor agreements he got with people, enough of that. J-Mo, baby, most expensive decoy in the NFL. I'm not going to give him that just yet, Dr. Detroit. I just think they didn't have time to throw the ball. They didn't.
But see, I was talking about this last season with golf. Sometimes he needs to see the whites of their eyes, and then he'll let the ball go instead of being, anticipating or throwing this guy open. It has to be perfect, and sometimes it ain't gonna be perfect. You just have to trust your receiver. So if I know I got J-Mo 1-on-1, and I see he's got a yard, or not even a yard, a half yard even, I'm gonna throw that ball in his direction. If I know the other safety's not coming over to help, and I'm gonna dare J-Mo. Either he's gonna draw a penalty or he's gonna catch the fucking ball. You know what I'm saying? Like some of those throws, he could have. You know what I mean? He could have threw the guy to the spot he wanted versus him waiting to, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't see the whites of their eyes. I'm going to just hold on to the ball. It's like, no, bro, throw your guys open, man.
Now, to Craig Ferguson's point, he said Talik is going to be a stud. Reader gone after this year, so interior should be good. Now get the other damn edge. Here's the problem. Reader's going after this year. Stay with me. He's going after this year. And guess what happened to you? If you would have told me that the Lions would have a chance to not only get Jahad Campbell and Mike Green, I'd have told you there's no way possible. But the Lions could have literally took Jahad Green, right? I mean, Jahad Campbell, and Mike Green fell to the second round. Now, granted, the Eagles probably could have went and took Mike Green, but they moved on past him. They didn't think much of it, right? So they moved on past him. Guess what? You now can look and say, man, we needed a pass rusher now. Because next year, guess what? The Bears are getting better. They'll be in the second year of their system. The Packers are getting better. The Vikings quarterback will be in his technically his sophomore year of his career. Like, they're getting better. Teams are getting better. The Panthers, for crying out loud, is getting better. You we needed it this year. That's all I'm saying. Let me see. Hutch will be fine. I got a bet with somebody. They got Hutch getting 15 sacks. I told him it's just not happening.
No, I'd be lucky if he gets 6.
I think he'll get close to double digits, if not 10. But I just feel like there's nobody that's going to threaten the attention not to be on him. So why would he? You see what I'm saying? Like, why would nobody? The Davenport on the other side ain't threatening nobody.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're going to double, trip him. They're going to do everything they can to frustrate him. You know what I mean? And eventually, that's they basically Green Bay basically gave people the blueprint right now on how to dismantle that O-line. There was a lot of there was just a lot of like missing assignments, no discipline whatsoever. And I'm embarrassed because I thought those guys were, I thought for sure it'd be like I expected some hiccups, but not the entire game. I'm sorry. Like, Goff had no time to even, it was like he had time to say hike, and then
they was on him.
He was already there in headlights.
It's the same thing we saw happen to Hendon Hooker. And everybody hated his guts. He can't read. He can't do this. Well, what are you going to say about Goff? Because that was what the starter offensive line out there. And they're not holding up. Yeah, you got 2 good tackles. Great. But you got a rookie guard. You got a rookie guard, another guard who I think is coming along okay, but then Graham Glasgow. That's your weak link.
Yeah, and that's right up the center, man. That's right up the middle.
It's right up the middle. He had the quickest up the middle.
Quickest point to anything is a straight line, and they were like right up the gut on him. Like, I don't know how Montgomery got that ball out of the end zone. That was just like, bruh.
I don't get it. Giovanni Lyon says, would you trade an offensive player for a defensive end? And if so, who? That's the problem. We don't have nobody to trade. You can't trade none of the running backs. They are under contract, right? There's no backup quarterback you can trade, right? So that's out the window. There's no receiver for you to trade because you only got 5 of them. Pray to God nobody gets hurt. All right? There's no tight end to trade because, hey, here's a newsflash. You really only got 1 tight end. If you go to the offensive line, who on the offensive line is worth any damn thing for you to get a DN? You want a DN, you're giving up draft capital.
Yeah. You're giving up some of them picks you got for Tim Patrick.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons I'm like ready to be like, hey, just because they got Andre Carter and they got Brian Burns, hey, can we get Tibbs? Can we get Kayvon? Is you willing to trade Kayvon? Seriously. There's somebody out there. But he the first one that came to mind because I'm like, well, they did get Andre Carter. And when I watched that Giants game, I'm like, well, I seen Tibb out there, but they were rotating him. So,
And one thing I didn't see yesterday really was Hutch even like being used up and down the line like he typically is.
Nope.
I didn't see that either.
But this is what they do. We have done this for the longest. He stays out for a while. He'll have a play over there, a play here and there where they move him inside. But for the most part, nope. You know who I did see go inside? Little video of Michael Parsons. You know what I saw happen? 2 people having to block him. Why do you got to block a linebacker? He's technically a linebacker.
Bro, you put him on his ass, bro. I'm sorry. You should be able to stand your ground, like you said. Plant your feet. Put him on, and then get a chip. That chip is going to help derail him. Like you say, he went right through 2 blockers, and they're over there trying to arm. Like, he went right in between their arms, bro. It was like, that to me screams no discipline.
That's all it was. It was poor execution. Dr. Detroit says, so you guys are saying Hutch isn't Defensive Player of the Year award?
Nah, I don't.
I thought the Patty thing was my thing, Dr. Detroit. I thought that was me. What the hell?
I'm with him on that. That's what I was saying. When we had the discussion last one, I was like, there's no way we pay this guy $50 million. Like, I don't see it. Like, yesterday, you're supposed to rise to the occasion. I don't care if they're chipping you. You being the HNIC on that defense, you got to make a play, bro. You have to make a play. So you take it upon yourself. Go back to the sideline and tell them, like, hey, try me on the other side, man. These guys are chipping me over here. Try me on the other side. You have to communicate that the game evolves.
It doesn't matter if they. Listen, you got to understand though, Rumble. Even if they flip them to the other side, they're just gonna chip them on the other side. There's nobody to threaten the other side. There's nobody.
Maybe it creates some kind of hole somewhere.
They thought they were gonna do that when they overloaded one side and blitz, and look what happened. He dotted their ass up down the field. And shout out to Looney Tunes. He says Abdul Carter, not Andre. Thank you, sir. you know I will botch your name in a heartbeat. I apologize. I'm sorry. If somebody does this, I was a kid. My mom's always like, why you do this? I don't know. My brain just doesn't really, it learned to hold on to faces. I can remember a face to save my life. But if you ask me to say what's his name or her name for $1 million, go ahead and cut that check to yourself. I can't help you. That's just not me.
Yeah, man.
Right.
I had to lick my wounds, boy. I was hot. By
It says
halftime, when I
Abdul
seen him
Carter
throw that,
was horrible yesterday. I mean, listen. They rotated him, and all I'm pointing out is, horrible or not, they invested a real high pick on him. And Kayvon, you ain't finna tell me that you just gave a big deal to Barnes, drafted Abdul Carter, and you gonna pick up the 5th-year options of Kayvon Thibodeau? Yeah, I think not. I think not, because here's what you can do. If you trade for Kayvon Thibodeau, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You will legitimately have somebody that can play opposite of Hutch, and here's the even more scary part. You can come out in sets where it's, say, Aleem McNeil or Talik Williams. You can put Davenport on the inside. You can now have speed rushers. You got options. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it really boils down to what, like you said, what is Shepard? Is Shepard going to be honest and go, hey, man, I need help? Like, I need him to go to Brett. Hey, man, we still need help over here. Like, don't just sit there and be like, I'm the DC and I don't want to say nothing to disrupt. No, go to your, hey, we need help, man. I need help. Like, I would appreciate my DC to do that.
Remember, did you see the graphic they put up to show the average throwing time that Love had that game?
Oh yeah, it was the equivalent of all 3 of the Godfather movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the man just had time. Again, I am being mindful of the clock, people. So just so y'all know, I'm not losing it, so y'all can get ready for this game. I just want to come on and give my thoughts about it. This is not a coordinator issue at this point. This is an execution and discipline
players.
issue.
I said that to the players.
Yeah, they got like, and to be fair, and I don't know if y'all paid attention, but Ada Hutchinson had some one-on-ones. He just didn't win. Right? Like Carson won his one-on-ones, and when he didn't, he did the smart thing, which is make the small pocket smaller, and Goff did what Goff did, right? And I just want people to realize this: like, don't make no excuses for this team, okay? No. Don't make no excuses, because I told y'all when we lose, you're going to blame the coordinators first, and as soon as we lost, y'all went straight to the. Did I not say this? No.
Leave them coordinators alone. This is player. We saw their lack of discipline on both sides of the ball. We saw the O-line. We saw Taylor Decker out there naked, not a helmet on a body whatsoever. We basically saw our center run from the middle to go to the left side or right side. Didn't account for the guy over the ball. Like, that is simple one-on-one, man. Then once you determine that nobody's coming up that gap, then you go to the left or right side and help out. You don't just immediately like bail out, bro. This ain't like, man, come on, man. Goff deserves better than that, man. We deserve better than that.
I hate to say this because it scares me to say this, but we cannot lose to the Bears. That's 2 division losses and 2 conference losses. And if you lose to the Bears, I do not believe you're beating the Ravens.
I don't believe you're beating the Vikings.
At that point, you're now 0-3.
Bruh, there's no way, man. There is no way. Somebody on that O-line and somebody in that D-line has to set the precedent and hold people accountable, man. I'm sure they're watching film now. Again, I don't want to say I don't want to go out on a limb and be like, they're going to win favorably. Nah, after this week's performance, I can't say that until I see some pancakes. I see something from that O-line. I didn't see anything from that O-line, man. I'm being honest. I didn't see anything from our receivers other than Tesla's incredible catch in the end zone, which by that point, them boys had already played a full game. You know what I'm saying? But again, that just goes to show you, Goff will sit there and look for Amon-Ra with 3 people around him and have more faith in his arm getting the ball to Amon-Ra than he does to some of these guys who are one-on-one. And that falls on him too. He has to trust his other guys. I don't want to hear anything else, bro. Throw the ball to whoever. You might get a penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna teams already know I'm on Raw now, so they're gonna be. He's a vocal point.
They've been on I'm a Raw head since last year. They not finna let him just get off, and they're starting to get hit to JMO. So this is why I said what I said about how we got to attack him. It's got to be a lot of tight end plays and plays to the running back. The problem was you could not have told me that the line would be this terrible on both sides. There's no way you're going to convince me of this, that the line would be this terrible. But I knew that the defense wasn't going to be able to generate pressure. It just wasn't enough there, right? And again, shout out to Blamo, who says the Anzalone quote is so funny. It is, because he's basically making it known like, man, it's 1 week, but we didn't play well. Right. This is a we thing. So it's 7:50. The game starts, I think, at 8:15 or 8:30. I don't want to keep us too much longer. I'm going to bring Pizza back in so he give his final thought, because his team won. And on my channel, when your team win, you get to talk your stuff. I don't get to say nothing. All right? Your team won. So when your team wins, you get the benefit of me shutting the hell up. This is your time. So I'm bringing Pizza back because his team won. All right? Pizza, all I ask is you use a little KY. Don't do us dirty in your final thought. Just keep it respectable, okay? Just just keep it respectable. You won, all right?
Oh no, y'all know I'm always respectful. If one thing I ain't respectful.
I'm gonna let you talk your stuff. We're gonna let you go ahead, and this floor is yours. Give me your final thoughts, man.
I'll keep it real simple. Everyone that said that Michael Parsons would have no impact. I remember there was some dude, Lions podcast or radio show saying Michael Parsons isn't a great run stopper, Shut up. Michael Parsons is a generational talent, and y'all saw it. You all saw, I mean, y'all need to just chill the hell out and understand.
I lied. I just can't take it. It hurts too much to have him talking to me. I'm sorry. No, let me bring Pizza back. I'm messing around with you, Pizza. My bad.
You're fine.
Go ahead, bro. Finish your stuff. This truly is. I just had to do it. The pain. I'm like, man, damn it! I gotta hear this. The pain. So, go ahead, talk your stuff.
I want everyone to understand that this team is a good football team, a strong football team with strong aspirations. You can't sit there and simply say, "Oh, well, they ain't on this, on that." No, relax on that. And to all the people that was talking about Quin Sewell, he's a great player, but understand, Mike Parsons is a great player too. You saw what happened out there with Michael Parsons and the one-on-ones he got versus Quin Sewell. He did his work. He did his business. So understand that. Send the word out. We back up. And the NFC North just got a little lot harder, a little lot interesting. In terms of the other side for y'all got to get better. Y'all can't be having design runs where the center's supposed to pull and whatnot on the 1 yard line, and they can't pick up a D tackle. These are the things that you can't have, and if you're gonna have those, you're gonna make that. I have the Lions predicted, no disrespect, 7 wins. Y'all gonna have to prove me wrong. Right now, y'all proving me right. 7 wins. So
I'm gonna do you like this, Pizza. I'm gonna do you like this, Piece. I'm gonna do you the same way that my grandmother used to do me. I love you. I just don't like you. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I don't like you.
But yeah, go Pack, go.
Okay.
Enjoy this Monday night football game. Recover. And get ready to watch the Packers win the division. Y'all take care.
This is what happens when you lose. All right. Let me bring in Rumble. Rumble.
Yes, sir.
Let me get you in this building because y'all see I gave him the floor. I let him. Whew, that was rough, boy.
Shut up.
We need that. We needed that.
Yeah. We definitely
needed that.
Yeah. I appreciate his honesty, and I appreciate him, rubbing it in a little bit. He was a little KY.
We needed that. Listen, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. They got to see us in the
give me your final thoughts. The floor yours, man.
My final thoughts is
Pizza, just one more time. Pizza, I love you. I just don't like you.
Go back, go.
Talk your stuff. Talk your stuff, Rumble.
Yeah, this week one really opened our eyes to just how privileged we've been over the past few seasons. And I think now we have to get back to the drawing board. We have to get back to what made us a force in the NFC North, man. We have to get back to grit. We have to do the little things. So, these O-line captains, these D-line captains, they have to be in those respected rooms and start holding people accountable, start, giving their knowledge and wisdom based off, especially our divisional opponents. These games do matter, contrary to what everyone may or may not believe. These games matter, man. You set the tone in your division, and I feel like all the other games can be more manageable. But if we can't handle our business in our division, I don't want to hear nothing about Super Bowl. Like, put that in the trunk with the bottle of ketchup, mustard, all of that, because Luke don't like ketchup. So we need to put that in the trunk, out of sight, out of mind, because we don't want that right now. We need to focus on fundamentals. We need to focus on what got us in America's households on TVs on Saturday, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day. We need to focus on those moments and what got us talking, what got people talking about us. I solely believe yesterday was on the players. They were not popping off the ball. They were not disciplined whatsoever. And I really, frankly, didn't see anybody on the sideline trying to rally the troops, if you would. They all look somber. They all look like they got their ass whooped, which they did. So moving forward, we got somebody coming home to the den. That needs to be the game. They need to set the tone right then and there inside of Ford Field. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. Our former OC is coming into his old house. See, he moved, man. He moved now. Now he in Chicago. So what does this team do? Does this team rise, or does this team once again act like they don't realize what's at stake? It's going to be interesting in the next couple of days what we hear from not only the players, but the coordinators and coaches. Who's going to rise to the occasion? Who's going to be the first one to go out there and make a play? Who's going to be the first one to go out there and smack somebody in the mouth? Because yesterday I didn't see anybody doing that. I seen Branch try to do it and he got penalized, and I tipped my hat to him. Yeah, it was a bonus.
Bro, he threw a helmet.
Yeah, it was, but he was setting the tone, man. He was like, "Nah, y'all ain't finna do this to us like this." But nobody else. I saw nobody else have that vigor. They were all like, I don't know. They look like a Pop Warner team out there. But moving forward, man, I need to see that grit. I need to see that Lions team that, regardless of what was thrown at them, albeit injuries, they always rose to the occasion. You played the Lions. I didn't see that yesterday at all. So, again, moving forward, I think we should see a better stand, if you would. But yeah, yesterday was on the players. I don't want to hear fire Morton and coordinators. No, it's on the players, man. And it's up to these captains to hold these players accountable, first and foremost. So that's all I got.
Let me give out some words of wisdom as I get into my final thoughts, man. Appreciate your final thoughts from you, good brother. Mine is simple. You need to root for the Bears to win tonight. The logic is very simple. Bears win tonight. Vikings are 0-1. Vikings beat the Packers. Everybody is 1-1. Lions beat the Bears. We're all 1-1. We're back to 0-0. You hear me? All right, people.
Damn.
Like, that's how crazy. That's how crazy it is. So you have to root for the Bears to win. You have to root for the Vikings to beat the Packers, and then you have to beat the Bears. So that way, you are at least 1-1 in the division. They're all 1-1 in the division, and we're back to square one. What you cannot have happen is the Bears win tonight, and then all of a sudden you play the Bears and lose, and you're 0-2 in the division, the Bears is 2-0 in the division, the Vikings win and then beat the Packers, they're 2-0 in the division, or the Packers beat the Vikings, so you need to split. That's how you need to have it happen, okay? Now, you know me. I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note, and today's positive quote comes from me. It's a simple one. You need to be like Legos. I know this sounds strange. It sounds like that's not really a quote, but it is. You need to be like Legos, because if anybody ever played with Legos, you know they come in all shapes and sizes, and each one of them shapes and sizes must come together to create one big picture. And I'm noticing that there's a huge divide in the current climate of politics and sports as a whole. But let me be sure, okay? Let me be 100% clear about this, that even though there's this divide that's going on, you don't have to participate. You don't have to get involved in all of this. You can be one of those building blocks that builds a bigger and better picture. Now, I don't know about you, but I can tell you this much right now, that each time I come across somebody, I'm trying to be the reason that they have a faith in humanity. But I also understand that everybody does not experience me the same way. So while you're out there in your day-to-day lives, I'm asking you to remember to be like the Lego. Are you contributing to a bigger picture that is of positivity, or are you contributing to a bigger picture that's of negativity? If you are in the negative boat, then I only ask you to do one thing. Just stay away from me. Because whether you know it or not, it's not going to help create the better picture that is making this world better by simply just being kind to the next person. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And if you don't do nothing else at all, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.